So here's one that's interesting. So both starting wide receivers, Cornelius Johnson and Roman Wilson, look improved, but look out for Tyler Morris. So Tyler Morris is apparently the front runner for the slot position right now. And of course, we're also hearing, Peyton O'Leary's doing well. Um, you know, uh, like Clemens is doing fairly all right. Even Carmelo English. But Tyler Morris sounds like, and maybe because of his JJ connection, they just have a little bit better history and chemistry there. But it sounds like he might be the starter in the slot position.
Well, maybe, they haven't scrimmaged or they don't even have full pads on right now. So the first week, putting somebody on the depth chart, I'll be a little bit cautious, but I would go with it anyways. I like talking about the depth chart. Morris was injured in his senior year in high school. He had a knee. So, if you think that you don't come back 100% the next year, it's, sometimes, and I think a lot of us agree, it takes 2 years where you feel like maybe you're 100%. So it is 2 years removed from that. He does have the connection with JJ going back to high school where they played together. And even I think before that with 7-on-7. So having the trust and familiarity with a quarterback and receiver being on the same page, that's pretty big. And he did come on, show some flashes last year. He made a huge catch at Rutgers for on a third down to move the chains. And so, he's got the skill and there's the opportunity there without Ronnie Bell. You already mentioned Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson. That those guys will be out there, and then Colston Loveland. But they are going to look for a slot guy. And if it's not going to be Darius Clemens, Tyler Moore, or any of those, there's, 3 freshmen. Morris is a good candidate. I could see that. I'm buying into that hype that Tyler Morris could be an impact player for Michigan. And when anybody talks about Michigan, you understand, the receivers, like the offensive line, great. Quarterback, we've already talked about. Running backs, great. So Colston Loveland, fabulous. So you do point to the one spot where you say, well, are they, average, a little bit above average? They're certainly not Ohio State, out there outside. So, and there's an opportunity there. So I'm buying into a little bit of the Morris hype.
Yeah, and account 22 mentions Donovan Edwards. Watch out for him to get past 2 more. He hinted at that. He said a lot of things in that interview, including he wanted to be, was it one of the best running backs ever to play the game or something like that? I mean,
I don't know. Basically,
dream big.
He put I don't know, the Walter Payton and Earl Campbell on notice, or something. I forgot who the 2 guys. They're like, I want to be the great. He didn't say I want to be the greatest. He basically was like, look, I'm ready. So I like the confidence from Donovan Edwards, and I'm a big believer in Donovan Edwards. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be a big believer in Donovan Edwards. I don't make that sound. Account 22 knows what he's talking about there with Edwards' ability. He could be a slot guy if he wanted to. Edwards, if he could be a little bit can he be a little bit underrated because he's the running back 2 at Michigan? I guess you didn't watch the end of the Ohio State game or the Big Ten championship game, and he had to wear that club. He's doing it with, we were calling him the one-arm bandit,
right,
in the season. And then he had to get something a little cleaned up in his knee where he's feeling better. So I don't know, like, sky's the limit for Donovan Edwards. I know I said last time I was with you that I think he's the second best running back in the country. And the number 1 running back is the guy that's playing in front of him at Michigan. And, I know the guy from Notre Dame's going to get in and say, oh, there you go again. What scout has said that? I'm saying it. I think they're going to go 1-2 in the draft. I know the kid at Florida State, that is Benson, fabulous player. Maybe he'll be up there, but, I'm saying that Michigan's going 1-2 in terms of running backs that come off the board in the 24 draft.
Wow. There you go. 1-2. Yeah, I remember reading that one too from you. 1-2. That would be really.
That is a little hot. That is a little bit of a hot.
that would basically mean Michigan wins the title, or at least is in the title game, I think. So that's pretty cool. Jason, we always appreciate you stopping by and your contribution. If Michigan passes more, can see Edwards at wide receiver more. Yeah. I mean, he was, as we just said, he was one-handed down the stretch last season, and he has a receiving ability that's really good. I mean, he's made some pretty ridiculous catches. So I see it.
Rutgers last year, he caught a touchdown pass, down the left side and in the back of the end zone. That was pretty nice. And he put everybody on notice. What was it, at Maryland, when he had 10 catches, 170 yards. So he's got that ability. He could be if Michigan didn't have slot guys, he could be out there. I always go back to the game against Michigan State last year where he ran down the middle of the field and had a linebacker on him, did a in cut and took it for like 30 yards down the field. And it sort of looked like, taking candy from a baby, and you're thinking, wow, doesn't Michigan run that a lot more? I think, you get him out and, get him, get him out of corner, get him out of safety, but get him on a linebacker. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. There you go. Edwards getting wide receiver screen plays. Very possible. Okay.
Throw screens. I don't know why. They didn't. They waited. They threw on the quorum early in the Illinois game, and it went for a big gain. But for the most part, they don't throw slants, and they don't throw as many screens. And people are upset about that. And if Michigan didn't have the kind of season that they had, I think I would be with them complaining about that more. But since they went undefeated, I don't complain as much about them not throwing slants and screens.